Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Apurva Palkar, other distinguished invitees, teachers, non-teaching staff, and my dear student friends. First of all, I offer my huge compliments for all those who are responsible for the Skill University. This is the first effort in the country, and in my lecture, the total emphasis is on skill development and what is really required for our nation, for our state. That is the principal message. We as a country, we wish to be 5 trillion economy. In Maharashtra is between 10 and 20%, and since we are progressive, we should be 20%, that is 1 trillion economy. We talk even bigger numbers, but let us see 1 trillion economy. 1 crores means 1 trillion. So 1 into 10 raised to 14, एकावरती 14 शून्य द्यायचे, तेवढे रुपये आपल्याला दरवर्षी पाहिजेत. आत्ता किती मिळतात? तर त्याच्या 15 ते 20% मिळतात, आणि तितक्या पटीने आपल्याला आपलं उत्पन्न वाढवायचं आहे. देशाचं किंवा राज्याचं उत्पन्न कशा कशातून येतं? तर एक इंडस्ट्रीची ॲक्टिव्हिटी, आपण जो जगभर व्यापार करतो त्या व्यापारातून आपल्याला पैसे किती मिळतात, कृषीमधून किती उत्पादन होतं, हा दुसरा स्रोत आहे. अँड द थर्ड वन इज सर्व्हिस सेक्टर. वी डू सर्व थ्रू IT to the entire world, and that gives us income. So all these three put together is about 70% of the total income of our state. If we see the industrial income or agricultural income, we are doing it in a traditional manner. There are no new concepts. Particularly our land has become unfertile, and our industrial output is not comparable, is not competitive in the world. Therefore, let me show in the next slide. In this slide, what I have done, that in the first column there is GDP, per capita income. दरडोई उत्पन्न किती आहे त्याच्या आधारावरती जवळजवळ मी 142 देशांचं ॲनालिसिस केलं आहे, आणि दरडोई उत्पन्न हे पहिल्या कॉलममध्ये आहे, आणि शेवटच्या कॉलममध्ये नवनिर्मिती किती करतो तो देश किंवा तो राज्य. आपल्याला माहिती आहे की TV सुरू झाला आणि TVचं मार्केट असं 1000 कोटींचं झालं. आपण स्वतः काही केलं का? कसं उत्पन्न मिळतं? कसं? मोबाईल आला, ॲव्हरेज किंमत 40,000 रुपये आहे, 10,000 रुपयाला बनतो, आणि 30,000 रुपये त्या देशाचं पर कॅपिटा इन्कम वाढवण्यासाठी जातात. असे युद्धसामग्री असू दे, किंवा जर इंटरनेटवरती आपण गेलो की आपण काय काय इम्पोर्ट करतो, खूप असं तुम्हाला हजारोंची यादी मिळेल की आपण इम्पोर्ट करतो. आणि कुठल्या देशातून करतो? जे नवनिर्मिती करतात, जे इनोव्हेशन्स करतात, आणि नवीन प्रॉडक्ट बाजारात विकून, जगात विकून खूप पैसे कमावतात आणि आपल्या देशाचा GDP वाढवत असतात. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. तर आता आपला भारताचा नंबर किती? तर 152 देशामध्ये पर कॅपिटा इन्कम बेसिसवरती वरून 140वा आणि खालून 12वा. म्हणजे आपल्याला आपण म्हणतो की आवर इज अ डेव्हलपिंग कंट्री, डेव्हलपिंग नेशन, पण खरं म्हटलं तर गरीब आहे देश. आणि हा गरीब कशामुळे आहे तर मी आधीच सांगितलं की इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, जो देश नवनिर्मिती करतो आणि नवनिर्मितीमध्ये सगळ्यात खाली नंबर असेल तर पर कॅपिटा मध्ये सगळ्यात खालचा. भारत तुम्ही कोपऱ्यात बघा, इथं नवनिर्मिती पण शेवटचा नंबर आहे आणि पर कॅपिटा इन्कममध्ये पण शेवटचा. तर पाहिजे काय आपल्या देशाला, याला जे आपण स्किल्स म्हणतो, ती स्किल्स म्हणजे काहीतरी नवनिर्मित करता आलं पाहिजे. जगाच्या तुलनेने काहीतरी ते अट्रॅक्टिव्ह असलं पाहिजे. ते अशा किमतीला विकलं गेलं पाहिजे की आपल्या स्किल करणाऱ्या आपल्या तरुणींना भरपूर वाव मिळाला पाहिजे. म्हणजे मग आपला तो देश श्रीमंत होईल. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. तर आता इथं मी काय केलं आहे की असे आपले हे जागतिक बिझनेसेस आहेत. मी केमिकल सेक्टरमधला आहे, तर जगामध्ये किती बिझनेस आहे तर 1.5 कोटी रुपयांचा, म्हणजे एवढा सुद्धा पुरणार आहे आपल्याला श्रीमंत व्हायला. आपण किती बिझनेस करतो? 1.4%. हर्बल हेल्थ केअर, आपण म्हणतो की आयुर्वेदिक औषधं हे जे संशोधन आहे, हे जी नवनिर्मिती आहे 2-3 हजार वर्षापूर्वी, ती आपण नवनिर्मिती केली. पण जगामध्ये आपण व्यवसाय किती करतो तर फक्त 1% परत. आणि मी खाली इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स दिलं आहे 0.1%, फूड प्रोसेसिंग दिलं आहे, बायोटेक्नॉलॉजी दिलं आहे. तर जगभरामध्ये आपण व्यवसाय फक्त 1% करतो, जगाचा व्यवसाय तो. पुढची स्लाइड. याच्यात दाखवलं आहे की पहिल्या कॉलममध्ये वेगवेगळी पिकं आहेत, राईस, व्हीट, मँगो, शुगर केन. तर प्रत्येक केसमध्ये आपण 3 पट कमी पिकवतो, इतकी नापीक जमीन झाली आहे. टोमॅटो आणि बटाटे घेतले तर तिथे 20 पट कमी पिकवतो. तर आपल्याला अशी काहीतरी नाविन्यपूर्णता पाहिजे, जे मी थोड्या वेळाने सांगेन, की ज्यांनी आपली शेती चांगली होईल, ज्यांनी आपला उद्योग चांगला होईल, कॉम्पिटिटिव्ह होईल. आणि तिसरा जो सर्व्हिस सेक्टर आहे, या सर्व्हिस सेक्टरमध्ये आपण जगाची चाकरी करतो, ऑलमोस्ट गुलामी करतो. असं कुठलंही सॉफ्टवेअर नाही एखादा अपवाद वगळला तर, की वर्डसारखं किंवा एक्सेलसारखं किंवा अशी बरीच सॉफ्टवेअर आहेत की ते जगभर व्यवसाय करतात आणि जगातले श्रीमंत बनतात. आपण मात्र चाकरी करतो. ह्या 3 कारणामुळे आपण गरीब आहे आणि ह्या 3 कारणामुळे नोकऱ्या नाही आहेत. किती नोकऱ्या नाही आहेत? आपल्याला गरज आहे 10 कोटी नोकऱ्यांची. तर त्या दिशेने आपल्याला विचार करावा लागेल. एक मात्र तुम्हाला आत्मविश्वासाने गोष्ट सांगतो की नवनिर्मिती करायला, नवीन जॉब्स बघायला, नवीन काहीतरी शोधायला संधी मात्र आपल्या देशामध्ये खूप आहेत. म्हणजे आपण असं म्हणू की एखादा प्रॉब्लेम असेल, मी 1-2-3 प्रॉब्लेम घेणार आहे आणि त्याच्यातून संपत्ती निर्मिती कशी झाली ते मी सांगणार आहे. तर प्रॉब्लेम किती आहेत आपल्या देशामध्ये? तर पर कॅपिटा इन्कम कमी आहे, पण पर कॅपिटा प्रॉब्लेम्स मात्र जगामध्ये सगळ्यात जास्त आहेत. तर एवढे जर प्रॉब्लेम असतील तर कुठलाही एक प्रॉब्लेम घेतला तर ते प्रॉब्लेम आपल्याला डोळ्याने दिसतात कसे आणि त्याची स्टेपवाईज प्रोसिजर काय ती सोडवायची आणि त्याच्यातून संपत्ती कशी निर्माण करायची, असा माझा भाषणाचा विषय राहणार आहे. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. मी सांगितलं सर्व्हिस सेक्टरबद्दल. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. इतका गरीब देश आहे पण आपण किती हजारो गोष्टी इम्पोर्ट करतो. जवळजवळ 26%, 140 लक्ष कोटी रुपये, तुम्ही काहीतरी मोठी संख्या असं धरा, त्यातलं 26% आपण कच्चं तेल आयात करतो. आणि मी तुम्हाला असं एक नवीन कल्पना सांगणार आहे की आपण हे सगळं कच्चं तेल आपल्या देशात कसं करू शकतो. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गुड्स, मशिनरी, गोल्ड, कोल, कोक. मी एक पहिले इंटरनेटवरून जी मोठी यादी होती त्यातले पहिले 10 घेतलेत, पण हे खूप गोष्टी इम्पोर्ट करतो. तुम्हाला आश्चर्य वाटेल, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, की टायटेनियम नावाचा धातू आहे आणि तो धातू पर किलो त्याची ताकद किती. आपण लोखंडाची ताकद म्हणतो, ॲल्युमिनियमची ताकद म्हणतो, टायटेनियमची ताकद म्हणतो. तर एक कुठलंही वजन घेतलं तर टायटेनियमची ताकद ही 3 पट आहे स्टीलपेक्षा. म्हणून तो वेगवेगळ्या उद्योगामध्ये वापरला जातो. टायटेनियमला लागणारं जे रॉ मटेरियल आहे ते जवळजवळ सगळ्यात जास्त भारतामध्ये आहे. म्हणजे भारतातलं रॉ मटेरियल सगळ्या जगाने वापरायचं ठरवलं तर 500 वर्ष पुरेल इतकं रॉ मटेरियल आहे. आपण करतो काय? माझ्या तरुण मुला-मुलींना आवाहन आहे, आपण करतो काय? 6 रुपये किलोनी रॉ मटेरियल आपल्या देशातलं विकतो, बाहेर एक्सपोर्ट करतो आणि 2500 रुपयांनी 1 किलोला विकत घेतो. देश गरीब का आहे? तर ह्या ज्या सुसंधी आहेत ह्याची टेक्नॉलॉजी आपण का नाही निर्माण करू शकत? ती निर्माण करून टायटेनियम तयार करून मग आपल्याला तसं पुढे जावं लागेल. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. मी आता एक 3 ते 4 उदाहरणं अशी सांगणार आहेत की आपल्याला प्रॉब्लेम दिसतो कसा आणि त्या प्रॉब्लेमचं सोनं कसं करायचं. त्याच्या काही स्टेपवाईज प्रोसिजर्स असतात का. पहिलं जे आहे ते वेस्ट ॲग्रिकल्चरल बायोमास. आपण वर्तमानपत्रात वाचतो की हे वेस्ट ॲग्रिकल्चरल बायोमास आहे ते पंजाब आणि हरियाणा राज्यांमध्ये खूप जास्त, सगळ्यात सुपीक जमीन तिकडे आहे आणि हे जे त्यांचं वेस्ट आहे ते जाळतात. आणि नोव्हेंबर आणि डिसेंबर महिन्यामध्ये आपली अपेक्षा असते, पोल्युशनचं स्टँडर्ड असं आहे की 1 मीटर क्यूब म्हणजे ह्या एवढ्या हॉलमध्ये जास्तीत जास्त 1000 पार्टिकल्स असावेत किंवा 1 मीटर क्यूबमध्ये 1 पार्टिकल असावा. हे जाळल्यामुळं किती पार्टिकल तयार होतात? 5000 पर्यंत. कसं आपण या देशामध्ये राहतो आणि असं त्या पंजाब हरियाणामध्ये सुद्धा नाही, आपल्या सगळ्या देशभर हा जाळला जातो. तर आता हे बातमी वाचली किंवा हे कुठं जळतं हे बघितलं, जळलेलं कधी लपत नाही, आपल्याला कळेलच की कुठं काय जळतं आहे. आता ह्याच्यातून किती शक्यता आहेत मी पटकन सांगतो. एक पहिलं म्हणजे हे 400 डिग्रीपर्यंत तापवलं, हवेचा सान्निध्य नसताना, या प्रोसेसला पायरोलिसिस म्हणतात. तर त्याच्यामधून गॅस, लिक्विड, सॉलिड असे 3 प्रॉडक्ट तयार होतात. जे लिक्विड आहे, जे बायो ऑइल आहे, त्याला आपलं जे क्रूड विकत आणतो बाहेरून त्याच्यासारख्या प्रॉपर्टीज असतात. आपल्या देशामध्ये आहे किती अशा पद्धतीचं ॲग्रिकल्चरल वेस्ट? 600 मिलियन टन्स. आणि त्या सगळ्याचं पायरोलिसिस केलं तर 200 मिलियन टन इतकं लिक्विड बनेल. कमीत कमी 2 ते 3 कोटी जॉब्स तयार होतील त्याच्यातून आणि देशाला एवढं उत्पन्न मिळेल की पर कॅपिटा इन्कम हे 30 ते 50 हजार रुपयांनी वाढेल त्या ह्याच्यामध्ये. तर आता हे जे लिक्विड आहे तर ते जे आपण कच्चं तेल आयात करतो त्याच्या प्रॉपर्टीज आणि ह्याच्या प्रॉपर्टीज सारख्या यायला पाहिजेत. म्हणून आमच्या संस्थेने भारत पेट्रोलियम बरोबर करार केला आणि असं झालेलं तेल त्यांना दिलं की तुम्ही त्याच्या ऐवजी न वापरता पहिल्यांदा 5%च वापरा, 10%च वापरा, 15% वापरा. आणि त्यांनी रिपोर्ट दिला आहे की हे तेल त्याला चांगलं उपयोगी पडणार आहे. आपण 26% 20 लक्ष कोटी रुपयाचं तेल आयात करतो आणि आपण तेल जाळून टाकतो. तर नवनिर्मिती ह्याच्यामध्ये किती आहे बघा. फक्त गरम केलं त्या ह्याच्यामध्ये. तर हे गरम करताना अर्थात त्याला जो लागणारा रिॲक्टर आहे तो व्यवस्थित डिझाईन करायला लागतो. प्रत्येक पार्टिकल रिॲक्टरमध्ये 20च मिनटं राहील आणि मग त्याच्यातून हे 3 चांगले पदार्थ होतील. त्याच्यातला जो 4 आहे, म्हणजे खाली जो सॉलिड प्रॉडक्ट राहिला, जो कोळशासारखा दिसतो, तर त्याला खूप छान प्रॉपर्टीज असतात. These particles are porous, there is lot of surface area, and most importantly it has ion exchange capacity as well as water retaining capacity. So if this char, we have done experiments for the last 5 years and extensively doing right now 10 times as compared to what we did in last 5 years. This char we now load with nano urea as a source of nitrogen, nano phosphorus, nano potassium, and all other ingredients which has made our land unfertile. And 2 agricultural universities are working with us, and we have shown that for one crop, we studied only one crop, that is soybean. Why we took soybean? That is, we import soybean oil or palm oil or both together 70,000 crores. That is one of the biggest import item. So whatever land is right now allocated for soybean, already allocated for soybean, if we increase productivity by just 25%, then we don't need to import. We are talking on a platform of skill development. There are between 10 to 20 crores job required, and for such plenty jobs, we need plenty opportunities. And all those plenty opportunities, they come from solving societal problems. And we need to make such activities in successful. If I give this activity to any industrialist, I have personal image that industrialist doesn't ask me second time, just explain me why this business is profitable. He believes me. But all such ideas I am trying to penetrate through our farmers. They are the owners of this waste. So instead of sugarcane as a crop, from where they get maximum 2 lakh rupees per hectare, this waste can give them 3 lakh rupees per hectare, in addition to whatever crop they are growing. So the second part I was saying. The third part, gas, for heating up to 400 degrees centigrade, some fuel is required. And out of the gas which we get, some quantity if we use for making char and liquid, remaining gas can be circulated through piping in the village, and it can take care of the cooking activity. Please note that 30% of energy required in our nation goes for household cooking. There are about, I'll come to that subject. But here the problem was lot of pollution because of burning. We have 600 million tons of waste, and from this waste we can make 200 million tons of crude oil. We can make solid product which can improvise the fertility of our land, and gas can solve the problem of household cooking. The next example I'll give, I'm going fast. The only message is there are plenty opportunities in our nation. Take any one of them, try to understand what are the opportunities of wealth generation, what is the international market, what is the national market, what is the process which will be required, whether that process can be made economical. So this is the sequence, and try to skill the people to operate that plant. This particular, if it is spread throughout the nation, then 2 crores jobs will be generated throughout the nation. So keep on, I can give you at least 50 examples just now. The time may permit me only 3 or 4 examples. By that time I will generate 10 crore jobs by the end of that. So what is the next? I have typically 15 to 20 PhD students, and I take them for picnic every year somewhere. And year before last, I forgot. But students did not forget. They came to me and said that, sir, we have not gone for picnic this year. Chalo. We selected Sindhudurga district. Why? Because earlier year we had completed Ratnagiri district, Raigad district. So Sindhudurga district. So we saw Sindhudurga fort, we saw some other forts. The students played cricket on the banks of the rivers and ocean. Usual picnic activity. So while returning back to the residence, they saw large number of cashews, cashew fruits, and cashew fruits were thrown, huge quantity. So the students asked me, such a huge wastage, what I am explaining you, how to identify a problem, how to solve the problem, and while solving the problem, how to generate wealth for the nation, and how to generate job opportunities for the nation. So the story continues. The students asked me that there is a huge number of cashew nut apples or cashew fruits. Sir, what we can do? I told them that I was not interested in picnic. I did not invite you. You invited me. So whatever problems are there, these are your problems, not my problems. So student went to the local revenue department, the collector's office, and they got two pieces of information. The cashew apples, the cashew fruits, फळं किती फेकली जातात तर 21 लाख टन फेकली जातात. आणि याचा उपयोग करायला आतापर्यंत खूप जणांनी गेली 50 वर्ष प्रयत्न केलाय. आणि काय बनवायचं ह्याच्यातून तर इथेनॉल बनवायचं असा प्रयत्न केलाय. हे फळं आपण शेतकऱ्यांकडून घेतो. आता बाजारामध्ये सफरचंदाची किंमत 40-50 रुपये किलो आहे. इतर फळांची काहीतरी असेलच. तर ह्याच्यासाठी आपण 2 रुपये फक्त शेतकऱ्याला दिले तर 20 किलो फळं लागतात 1 लिटर अल्कोहोल इथेनॉल बनवायला. म्हणजे 40 रुपये रॉ मटेरियल झाला. सरकारची फिक्स किंमत होती की 47 रुपयाला घेणार. 40 रुपये रॉ मटेरियल, 47 रुपये विक्रीची किंमत. 7 रुपयात धंदा बसवायचा. 50 वर्षात काही धंदा झाला नाही. अशी 2 इन्फॉर्मेशन मिळाली की 21 लाख टन फळं आहेत. आत्तापर्यंत इथेनॉल बनवायचा प्रयत्न झाला आहे पण ते काही जमलं नाही आहे. मग एवढी इन्फॉर्मेशन घेऊन स्टुडंट्स परत माझ्याकडे आले, ह्याचं काय करायचं. आपलं जर अज्ञान असेल, आपल्याला जर काही कळत नसेल तर काय करायला तुम्ही शिकलायत. लायब्ररीत जायचं, वाचायचं तिथे. मग ते गेले सगळेजण. एकूण 15 आणि 5 20 स्टुडंट्स. किती मोठा फोर्स होता बघा. ते लायब्ररीत गेले आणि लायब्ररीत त्यांच्या लक्षात आलं मी जरा वेगानं जात असल्यामुळं भरपूर स्लाईड संपलेल्या आहेत. त्यांच्या लक्षात काय आलं की काजू फळाचा जो उत्तम रंग दिसतो ते बीटा कॅरोटिनॉइड म्हणजे व्हायटॅमिन बी आहे. त्याच्याबरोबरच व्हायटॅमिन सी आहे. त्याच्यात डायटरी फायबर्स आहेत. त्याच्यात पॉलिफिनॉल्स आहेत. आणि पॉलिफिनॉल हे जे द्रव्य आहे पॉलिफिनॉल हे अँटीऑक्सिडंट म्हणजे आयुष्य वाढवण्यासाठी जे औषध दिलं जातं ते पॉलिफिनॉल्स आहे. मग त्या मुलांनी जे ॲनालिसिस केलं त्या ॲनालिसिसच्या प्रोसिजरप्रमाणेच त्यांनी सगळे पदार्थ वेगळे वेगळे केले. आणि वेगळे वेगळे केल्यानंतर मग त्यांनी जागतिक बाजारपेठेत किती रुपयाला विकणार, बी व्हिटॅमिन केवढ्याला विकणार, जर त्याचं 1 किलो असेल तर 90,000 रुपयाला जाईल, अँटीऑक्सिडंट्स कितीला जातील, असं ते त्यांनी सगळी माहिती काढली. आणि 47 रुपये इथेनॉलला मिळणार. आणि ह्या नवीन प्रोसिजरमुळे आणखीन इथेनॉल वाढणार. पण हे जे इतर प्रॉडक्ट्स तयार केले आणि ते विकले तर त्याच्यातून आणखीन 150 रुपये मिळणार. सो 47 + 150 म्हणजे 197. आधी धंदा का होत नव्हता? 40 आणि 47 मधला फरक अजिबात अट्रॅक्टिव्ह नव्हता. आता 40 आणि 197 असा धंदा. तर मग आता माननीय मंत्री महोदय नाही आहेत, पण आपलं राज्य सरकार किती मदत करतं बघा. आमच्या तिथल्या जिल्ह्याचे जे कोण पालकमंत्री आहेत, त्या पालकमंत्र्यांनी माझ्याकडून एक पानाचं एक लिखाण मागितलं, ही कल्पना तरी काय आहे. मी त्यांना लिहून दिलं आणि मी सांगितलं की हा कारखाना उभा करायचा असेल तर आपण एक 25,000 टन फळांचा कारखाना उभारूया आणि त्या कारखान्याला बसवायला 60 कोटी रुपये भांडवल लागेल. 60 कोटी. तर ते मंत्रिमंडळाची बैठक होती लगेचच, फेब्रुवारी महिना, म्हणजे आत्ताचा फेब्रुवारी गेला त्याच्या मागच्या फेब्रुवारी. मंत्रिमंडळाने पण लगेच मान्य केलं आणि त्या वर्षीच्या बजेटमध्ये पण तरतूद झाली. सरकारचा नियम काय आहे? अतिशय उपयोगी आहे की तुम्हाला जर 60 कोटीचा धंदा काढायचा असेल तर 6 कोटी तुम्ही गोळा करा, 10%, 54 कोटी आम्ही देऊ. बरोबर. मी गेलो त्या भागामध्ये आणि बँकांना गाठलं, तर ती जी सिंधुदुर्ग सहकारी बँक आहे त्यांनी त्या शेतकऱ्यांना ऑफर काय केलं, इतका प्रॉफिटेबल बिझनेस दिसतोय, तुम्ही पुढच्या 10 वर्षात आम्हाला परत करा ना, आम्ही तुम्हाला प्रत्येकाला 10,000 रुपये देतो. 6,000 शेतकरी गुणिले 10,000 रुपये, 6 कोटी तयार झाले. बरोबर. आता ते 54 कोटी येणं आणि माझ्यासारखे शास्त्रज्ञ कधी शांत बसत नाहीत. 60 रुपयाचं 50 होतं आहे का, 50चं 40 कोटी होतं आहे का. आपल्या देशाचा, आपल्या राज्याचा पैसा आपल्याला नीट छान वापरता आला पाहिजे. आपणच कस्टोडियन आहोत सगळेजण, आपण नागरिकच सगळे कस्टोडियन आहे. तर माझी जबरदस्त इच्छा अशी आहे की असे 40 कारखाने उभे राहिले की 50,000 रुपयांनी पर कॅपिटा इन्कम त्या जिल्ह्याचं वाढेल. एक कल्पना. आधी तुम्हाला सांगितलं, तो जो वेस्ट असतो त्याच्यातून 40,000 ते 50,000 रुपये अशा आपण कल्पना काढत जाऊया ना, एका पाठोपाठ एक. तुम्ही जर फणस घेतला त्याच्यानंतर मी त्या फणसामध्ये काय आहे आणि त्याच्यात जागतिक किंमत काय आहे आणि आपल्याला त्याचे पैसे किती मिळणार अशा बेरजा केल्यात. आपल्याला वेळेचं बंधन नाही, पण बघूया बरं, आपण पुढं जाऊया, फणसापर्यंत जाऊया. पुढे जा, पुढे. हे ते ॲपॅरेटस आहे पॅरालिसिसचं. नेक्स्ट. हा ते तो बिझनेस प्लॅन आहे की प्रत्येक 5 गावांचं एक युनिट बनवलं की जिथं 25,000 टन फळं मिळतील, तर तिथं 48 कोटी फायदा होईल. आणि हा जगभर जर आपल्या देशभर जर आपण हे इम्प्लिमेंट केलं, फक्त कचरा गोळा करायचा, तापवायचा आणि प्रॉडक्ट एकत्र करायचं आहे. 16 मिलियन जॉब आहेत. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. आपण आता हे जे दाखवलं आहे मी, आपण पाठीमागे जाऊया. हे जे दाखवलं आहे ते आपल्या देशामध्ये अजून 18 कोटी चुली वापरल्या जातात आणि त्याची एफिशियन्सी किती? 12%. म्हणजे इनइफिशियन्सी किती? 88%. इनइफिशियन्सी म्हणजे काय? धूर. तुम्ही कोणी गावाकडनं आलेलं असाल माझ्यासारखे तर तुम्ही चूल, फुंकणी सगळं बघितलं असेल, धूर पण बघितलं असेल. तर त्या धुराने आपल्या देशामध्ये ज्या काही आपण 18 कोटी चुली वापरतो त्याच्यातून 18 लक्ष महिला आणि लहान मुलं मृत्यू पावतात. आणि जे मृत्यू पावत नाहीत त्यांना श्वासाचे रोग असतात भरपूर. बिग प्रॉब्लेम. फॉर मी इट इज अ बिग अपॉर्च्युनिटी. राईट. लगेच कॅल्क्युलेशन. 12%चं 50% मी जर करू शकलो तर किती पैसे वाचतील? 72,000 कोटी. एक. जॉब्स किती तयार होतील? तर प्रत्येक गावामध्ये, म्हणजे समजा 500 कुटुंबाचं घर असेल आणि 500 चुली असतील, तर त्या चुलीतला इंधन नवीन पद्धतीने तयार करून देणं आणि चुलीला काही प्रॉब्लेम आले तर त्याचा मेंटेनन्स करणं, असे 4 जॉब्स तयार होतात प्रत्येक 500 जणांच्या कुटुंबासाठी, आणि प्रत्येक जणाला 40,000 रुपये असा तो नवीन जॉब तयार होतो त्या ह्याच्यातून. आम्हाला असं काम बघून जे जगातलं MIT म्हणून प्रसिद्ध विद्यापीठ आहे त्या विद्यापीठाने बोलावलं की असे तुम्ही प्रश्न सोडवता तर आपण सगळे मिळून सोडूया, कारण तुमच्या देशाचे जे प्रश्न आहेत तेच आफ्रिकेचे प्रश्न आहेत, तेच साऊथ अमेरिकेचे प्रश्न आहेत, तर आपण सगळे मिळवून सोडू. मी आत्ताच 1 महिन्यापूर्वी MITला गेलो होतो, तर त्यांना काय सांगितलं की तुम्हाला प्रॉब्लेम नाही चुलीचा कळणार, तुम्ही बघितली नाही आहे चूल, तुम्ही पहिलं तुमच्या प्रयोगशाळेमध्ये 2 चुली बसवा, त्याच्यावर चहा करा, म्हणजे तुम्हाला कळेल की काय प्रॉब्लेम आहे तो. आणि त्यांनी खरंच बसवलं. आणि आता हे जे संशोधन आहे ते म्हणजे आम्ही आणि MIT मिळून ते आफ्रिकेमध्ये, साऊथ अमेरिकेमध्ये आम्ही आता सगळीकडं त्याचा प्रसार करणार. पुढची स्लाईड. आणखीन आम्हाला कुठून जर बोलावणं आलं असेल तर हिमालयातून. हिमालयामध्ये 5 कोटी लोक राहतात. हिमालय पाकिस्तानात सुरू होतो, भारतात असतो, नेपाळ आहे, उत्तराखंड, हिमाचल प्रदेश आहे, नंतर जातो तो शेवट, पण चीनमध्ये पण आहे. असा मोठा हिमालय आणि 5 कोटी लोक राहतात. त्यांना 2 चुली लागतात प्रत्येक घरामध्ये. एक चूल स्वयंपाकासाठी लागते आणि एक चूल, आय एम सॉरी, आय एम स्पीकिंग इन मराठी, शुड इंग्लिश, या. So the second cook stove is in the living room because outside temperature is -5, -10, -15 and house needs to be kept warm, and therefore so there is pollution 2 times. So there is one NGO called Matrubhumi and they requested us to collaborate with them. So we went there, we understood the problem, local problem, and we took workshops to fabricate. मातीचा गोळा घेऊन त्याची चूल बनवायची हे आम्ही शिकवलं. पुढच्या वर्षी परत गेलो की झालेली चूल अजून वापरात आहे का, कुठेतरी कोपऱ्यात गेली आहे. So they were very active. But prior to that, whatever I am going to tell you in next 2-3 minutes is very important. Whenever we are planning to innovate anything, try to understand users' problems. Otherwise, we solve something for which there is no value. So, in this case, what we did, I held about 20 workshops of 20 housewives each, and asked them, there are so many improved cook stoves offered by the government, even free, why you are not using them? So in every workshop there were nice answers, and I collected all those answers and that became objectives of my research. Very interesting thing, I asked them, do you want free? So in 20 workshops, no woman told me that they want free. So I said, if I improve the efficiency from 12% to 50%, how much you are ready to pay for this chula? 700 rupees to 1,000 rupees. Good enough problem was defined. The new cook stove, we have developed computational methods to understand the efficiency. The software program that our students have developed at ICT can design atomic power plant, चूल पण डिझाईन करू शकतात, atomic power plant पण करू शकतात. मी त्यांचा टीचर आहे, but as a teacher I know that designing a cook stove is more difficult than atomic power plant. I have designed atomic power plants also. So we need to respect, there is nothing like negligible problem. So the answer was, if burning has to be efficient, oxygen has to reach to each and every point. That is most important. So what should be the design of cook stove? So that the flows generated by internal circulation, by natural convection inside, dispersion, diffusion, so that oxygen reaches everywhere. So that was the innovation. and then it is implemented. 5 million cook stoves have been sold, 700 rupees, not 1000 rupees, and then these are in operation. Take it further, take it further. Please note that for value addition, you will get the biggest joy of life if you innovate yourself, if you take something from somebody and implement, you will not get joy. I remember the story of a big scientist called Faraday. Why I am telling this story? Normally people feel that for improving cook stove, for having value-added products from the waste materials, huge facilities are required. Big laboratory is required. Good students are required. Good supporting staff is required. Good sophisticated equipment are required. Good library is required. Good internet is required. Then only I can innovate. Dear students, I am 75 and I tell you with confidence, none of these is required. None. What is required? Whether you can concentrate your mind. If you remember only this sentence and forget the entire lecture, it's okay. It's okay. Concentrate your mind. If you are unable to concentrate, go to MIT, go to Berkeley, go to Minnesota, go to Berlin, go to ICT. You will do nothing. All these are, but if you can concentrate your mind, all these are useful. All these are useful, not mandatory. So my dear students, develop this habit of concentrating your mind. Do meditation. I don't know, in your skill program, you can introduce a syllabus in the syllabus, outside the syllabus, whatever it is, but concentration of mind. The concentration of mind together with innovativeness, if you plot, त्या देशामध्ये की जिथं माणसं आनंदी असतात, मन एकाग्र करू शकतात, त्या देशामध्ये कवी जास्त असतात, लेखक जास्त असतात, गीत गाणारे जास्त असतात, शास्त्रज्ञ जास्त असतात. असं जे जे whatever is creative in nature, in that state, and then our nation, we should never opt for becoming leader of the world. Why? We should be happy. And we should be having per capita income which is comparable to anywhere in the world. So this part, what happens? We are doing 1% business in the world. We are growing 1/3 agriculture. If we ask industrialists why we are not competing in the world, what do they say? Their first problem is the interest rates in India are very high. We get loan at 11-12%. In USA it is 5%. In Switzerland it is 3%. And in Middle East it is 0%. So how can we compete in the world? Right? And keep on saying. And their major complaint is there are so many academic institutions and universities, and these universities, they don't help us. We don't get any meaningful support from them. We went to academics. Why we are contributing to only 1% of business in the nation? They start their story. We don't get support from the government. Our salaries are poor as compared to the salaries of our friends in the industry. These days, we don't get good students. Those same students say, these days we don't get good teachers. We don't have real facilities. I go to many colleges and tell them, facilities are not required. Are you happy? Can you concentrate your mind? So if my lecture stops, I'm going to continue for 10 more minutes, but because of light goes away, because of any reason, don't complain in life. Don't give excuses in life. Those who give excuses, I don't have this because of that I don't know, he's not going to innovate. And generate a happy atmosphere around you. Start from the family. When you go to home right now, go to your mother directly and tell her that whatever you have done for me up till now, I'm blessed. I'm so happy because of you. Tell her every week. Tell your father at least once a month. Husband should tell wives there. Wife should tell her, my life has meaning become. Tell your friends. Create such atmosphere which is positive, happy, pleasing. On surface you should be visibly pleasing personality or smiling all the time. Those people can innovate. This is my message to you, all my dear friends. Everybody will, irrespective of your height, your color of your hair, whatever you are wearing, you shall be successful. Remember these two things. Don't complain in life and create positive atmosphere around you. These two will be sufficient for individual success. Right? Let us go ahead. So this is the business plan for cook stoves. Please go ahead. ही ती चूल आहे. ती पूर्वी कशी असायची, नंतर 3 दगडांची चूल होती आणि आता आम्ही बनवलेली चूल आहे ती शेवटची चूल आहे. नेक्स्ट जाऊया, आपण वेगानं जाऊया पुढे. काय मी जाऊ शकतो का? इतकं पोल्युशन आहे. हे हिमालयातलं घर आहे आणि तिथं हे माझे विद्यार्थी चुली बनवत आहेत. पुढच्या स्लाइडमध्ये असेल. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. एनिवे, हे जे whatever is agricultural residue, we can make natural gas CH4 by fermentation. And this is the effort in Pune. Is the owner of the company. On the back side, from आपली गाय काय असते, काहीतरी आपण कडबा चारा देतो आणि ती दुसऱ्या बाजूला दूध देते. दिस इज सिंथेटिक काऊ. So you put grass inside, you will get methane gas outside. It is impure. Improvise it, clean it, compress it, and you will see that rickshaws and trucks are coming, and such a wonderful business. Big companies, they have advertised, we are going to put 50,000 plants across the nation. But when they will put, if they again import such reactors, it will be 5 times the cost. We will remain poor all the time unless we. I have myself plenty examples worth 60,000 crores where we have developed the technology, and if we would have purchased from outside, it would have been unsuccessful as a business because the capital cost is also very high. But all these Ambanis and Adanis, the basic technology comes from here. They will take it. What is that they are telling us? Like government. Very simple. If you are claiming such good results, then show at 4 places at such magnitude. Then we have put such plants again in Punjab, Haryana, again in Indore, and one in Varanasi. Obviously, these will become successful because we have already put another plant. We as a scientist, though we are pleasing and smiling outside, inside we are never satisfied. If I am getting 12 kilos of methane per 100 kilos of waste, why not 13? Why not 14? Where is inefficiency? And keep on improvising in such a way. There was one problem that now for energy the only option is nuclear reactors. That lecture I can give you separately. But we don't have uranium. All the uranium that we can mine in the nation is about 180 tons per year. We import phosphate rocks from outside, in which the rock has about 100 to 150 ppm uranium. For extraction, extractors are required and extractants are required. How much was quoted? For one extractor, France quoted 50 crores. We made it in 50 lakh rupees. Try to understand the importance of the freedom that you enjoy. I forgot to tell you, continue the story of Michael Faraday. He completed education only up to 9th standard. Only up to, because of poverty. आणि त्याचे वडील काय होते? कामगार होते. लोहाराकडे घड मारायचा फक्त, बाकी काही नाही करायचं. आई आजारी असायची नेहमी. So he studied up to 9th and he had to leave the education. He got a first job in a book binder. What did he do? He was binding, of course, but before binding any book, he was reading that book. Please try to understand. He was 9th. I'm sure everybody here has education more than 9th. Then, looking at his efficiency, Faraday's efficiency, the owner transferred him to the main, he was in the suburb of London, but in the main city of London he was transferred, where the owner had a shop of new books. And that was heaven for Faraday. He read all those, he was reading the new books. There are provisions in the city of London and facilities where every Friday there is a lecture. I'm talking about 200 years ago, and now also it is continuing. Every Friday there is a lecture on science. He attended the lecture on science. 3 consecutive lectures by a teacher called Professor Lee. And after listening those 3 lectures, he made notes in 200-page notebook and showed to the professor whether I have understood properly whatever you said in your lectures. And he praised, professor praised, you are a wonderful boy. Faraday said, I don't want praise, sir. I am without job. My family is very poor. So he said, let me give you a job. And the job given to the Faraday was laboratory attendant. Wash the table, wash the glassware, use chemicals put at the proper place, take files from one place to another place. The only difference between other scientists and Faraday was, other scientists were coming to the laboratory 9:30 sharp and going out, all of them together at 5 sharp. Right? The Faraday was starting his work at 5 o'clock and was working in the laboratory at 2 o'clock and coming back again at 9:30. How many inventions he did? Perhaps you have already studied in science the Faraday's laws of electrolysis, the electromagnetism. Our great scientist Einstein put full-size photograph in his library, and every day morning he was standing in front of him for getting inspiration. And he was telling in public lectures, Einstein, that if Nobel Prize was existing at his period, he would have got 6 Nobel Prizes. Such a person, he was given very honorary fellowship of science community in London. He said, no, I don't want. He was so much pleased within. Oxford University directly offered him PhD degree after 9th degree. 9th standard, 9th to PhD. He said, I don't need PhD. I'm good. The Queen at that time offered highest honor to him. He said, no, I don't want. If you people want to do something for me, and you create a term, you write, please write only one line. A happy man is lying inside. A happy man is like, why particular nation has more per capita income. I have been repeating again and again, concentrate your mind, be happy, create positive atmosphere, and that is good enough to solve the problems. And we have plenty problems in the nation, and we can easily make our nation. So this is the photograph where the waste biomass is converted into methane, and methane can be converted to many other useful products. Next slide. This is the cashew nut story I told you. Now see the fruit, beautiful, no? But that is thrown, 21 lakh. Next. This is the business. Next. And we get 1500 rupees per 20 kilograms additional. Next slide. So this is the total business plan for 25,000 tons, which I have told you I wanted to go fast. The main message I have already given to you. The message is opportunities are plenty and we need to encash every opportunity, create jobs and create wealth for the nation. Next slide. So this I wanted to show you the picture. This is a bigger story than cashew apples, much bigger, because cashew nuts are definitely grown in Karnataka, Kerala, etc. But this quantity is even much more than cashew apples. And the money that you can get by separating and purifying, next slide, I have not added up at the end because this is unbelievable. Unbelievable money is hidden inside. So my dear friends, become active, have lot of energy from today onwards, and energy should not be visible, let it be inside. What is should be visible is only smiling, nothing more than that. Next slide. So there are opportunities. मिरच्या आहेत इथे, इथे हळद आहे, इथे बेदाणे आहेत, इथे केळी आहेत. या सगळ्या अपॉर्च्युनिटीज आहेत, खूप खूप फुकट जातात त्या ह्याच्यामधून. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. अजून किती अपॉर्च्युनिटीज आहेत हे मी सुरुवातीलाच सांगितलं की आयुर्वेदातून आपल्याला पैसे काही नाही मिळवत, आपण काहीच नाही. सगळं सिंधुदुर्ग घ्या, सगळा जो महाराष्ट्राचा बेल्ट आहे श्रीमंत आहे सगळ्या औषधांमध्ये. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. Some additional opportunities. So 2 I have explained, 3 I have explained, 20 I have given. Next. There is one organization and there is a website called National Innovation Foundation. National Innovation. Go to the website, you will get at least 5,000 problems. So no need to. But it's a good idea to move in the society, talk to the people. Otherwise you don't get feel for the problem. You solve problem positively, but you don't get solution what is wanted, and you get money. Next slide. That titanium story I told you, that we are developing technology, that 6 rupees a kilogram we are selling away to the nations and we are buying at 2,500. So this technology has advanced quite a bit, and we are claiming that we will make titanium at the price of aluminium, which is 230 rupees a kilogram. And right now we are importing at 2,500 rupees a kilogram. Next slide. How much wealth? Bamboo. So if you grow 25% and we have proven 50%, we can improve the fertility of land. We need not grow rice and dal, and because number of mouths which are going to eat are more or less same. So whatever land becomes free, you grow bamboo, and bamboo is grown at 150 tons per year, whereas all other crops they give waste biomass 10 tons per year, 150 tons per year. So make this instead of waste, do this as a business, grow bamboo, and all bamboo related active people, they are going to come to me on 19th of this month, how we should proceed. Some bamboo is used for structural things, some are used for some beautifying things, but that entire usage is not more than 2 to 3%. And we have huge quantity of bamboo on one side, but the growth rate is so high, we can create more quantity. Next slide. Solar energy. Here only I want to show that there is a National Academy of Engineering of USA, and every year they post what are the demanding problems of the nation or of the world. And one problem was the solar energy. They said if you can make it in $70 per meter square, it will be useful. It will become economical. Therefore, next slide. So our people have made it. This is about 18 meter square pilot plant, and we are going to commercialize this. This is on one side. On the other side, the most prestigious journal in the world is Nature. And whatever innovations we did, we send it to the Nature and they publish that article. So on one side, I am happy and famous as a big scientist because I have published in Nature. On the other side, I am working for the society, and this is immensely possible. Next slide. This is that journal and reference. Next slide. I will stop here. Show next slide. Is there anything? Let me tell you this. Nanoparticles you may be knowing. So we got information. See, we are having a quarrel with China. And on the frontier, our soldiers are there, their soldiers are there. Correct? And both are wearing bulletproof jackets. But our soldiers are wearing bulletproof jackets imported from China. Try to understand the intensity of the problem, how to get the problem. This is the problem, that if China says, right now you are paying us 1,50,000 rupees per bulletproof jacket, you give 15 lakh rupees, you give 15 crore rupees, we will not give you. And you imagine the status of our soldiers on the frontier. They don't have bulletproof jacket. So I wanted to make bulletproof jacket with the help of students, and let me admit one thing, the innovations which I am telling you and keep on telling you, all of them, 95% of the contribution has been made by you young students. They are innovative. They need just small direction here and there, and they do wonderful job. Continuing the story further, I wanted to make bulletproof jacket. So for that, most important component is the nanocarbon, carbon nanotubes. And therefore I inquired, USA, $75 per gram. $75 per gram. England, $50 per gram. Germany, China, $10. You make bulletproof jacket out of buying this material, never it will be economical. Huge prices. So our students develop the technology. I told you $50 a gram. My students have developed a technology, $30 a kilogram. 3 cents a gram as compared to. It became economical. In that particular research group, there were 2 boys and 3 girls. And 3 girls, they were knowing from their mother how to stitch. So they stitched with the help of the high density polymer and bulletproof jacket, a composite. They stitched 5 jackets. So this was done in BRC premises, BRC facilities, BRC scientists, my students, their bosses. They had contact with our defense organization, and they sent 5 jackets for the testing. And all of them, they stood for all the bullet 41, 49, 141, all types of bullets were fired on this bulletproof jacket, and it was price instead of 1,50,000, 15,000 rupees. We saved 2,000 crores of our nation. Our Honorable Prime Minister, he announced in the Parliament, today onwards we are not going to import any bulletproof jacket. And next year onwards we will export the bulletproof jacket. All the members of Parliament, they clapped very heavily. Arey, clap, clap. Thank you. I wanted to know. Anyway, next. So this is the bulletproof jacket on which the bullets were fired. Next. We got a lot of publicity in Times, Hindustan Times and whatever, but I gave a photograph of my student because he deserves it. He made it. And he has remaining 40 years. And I am having minus 15 years. I retired 15 years ago. And I have all the awards and honors that a scientist can have in this nation. Nothing is remaining. So, and these are the real heroes. Next slide. And how many other applications are there in carbon nanotubes? We are working on all that. I will not go into the details. Next slide. This is yet another opportunity to make our entire industry efficient and make our industrial activity competitive in the world. I will not go into the details. I have an 8-step procedure by which each activity can be analyzed computationally, mathematically, and we can get an answer why a particular activity is demanding so much money and our cost of production is high. So I will not explain, but this has been done, and our institute is doing again and again the improvisation of profits. I'm going to, from 2 months from now, I'm going to hold workshops for industrial people, 30 at a time, and workshop for 1 week, how to go systematically, how many experiments, how many simulations, how much modeling, how much pilot plant, so that you really understand where the money is getting wasted and we don't become competitive. Next slide. So go ahead. All this is 8-step procedure. And these are the examples where I have improved the efficiency plenty times. If the profit was 20%, profit was increased by 100%. Next slide. This is yet another example. Imported equipment was 10 crores. We have made it in 15 lakh rupees. Next slide. Previous one. My lecture was really finished, but just give me 2 more minutes. It is completed. Two important points I have already told you. Develop habit of concentration of mind and be smiling all the time. The third point I am here telling you that we get a good crop if the land is fertile. Therefore, we need to spread scientific temper in the society. And that is the job Marathi Vigyan Parishad is doing for Maharashtra. And I am presiding that organization right now. And through about different 80 programs, day before yesterday I was in Solapur, and the Solapur city gave such a wonderful. So this entrepreneurship, we have just started MBA in our institute, MBA in social entrepreneurship. By social I mean solve social problem, create wealth for you and let the generated wealth go to the bottom of the pyramid. That is the principal objective. Thank you so much.
I have not come across such a beautiful session in couple of years, and I am very sure that all my students who are sitting there, you know, those who are in the second years know me very well, and those in first years will get to know me in some days. We are all ready for innovations, and maybe in 2 days I am visiting the campus to understand how do we take this session forward. I think somebody like Dr. J.B. Joshi coming and speaking to us, I was amazed. I must tell you that 40 years back, sir was the teacher of my husband. And he also made a mention of this in the morning, that it's a feast to listen to Dr. J.B. Joshi. I think I am honored today. My eyes have opened because I've been speaking innovations in all my sessions. Bhavesh has been speaking about innovations in all his sessions. We have actually given fellowships to 16 students today. But I want everyone sitting in this room to have this thought. And I believe that 95% of the people sitting in this room are planning to become engineers. I'm amazed that I am a business person, but I think Dr. J.B. Joshi has more business mind and an innovative mind than a business person can even think of. At the age of 75, he has not given a single idea which is not authenticated by his own work. We speak in the class with examples of others, but today you had the fortune of having somebody who spoke to you about the innovations that he has contributed. Starting from Solapur to MIT Boston. We go to MIT Boston to listen to what MIT is doing. And I've always been hearing this, when you put it on the Google, the map of Google on innovation, there is one institute gets figured, and that's MIT. And we are honored that Dr. J.B. Joshi sir has taken a very indigenized concept into MIT, where MIT wants to invest in him. I'm so honored. All the laurels are with him. All the awards that any scientific community and engineer can think of and dream of are already with him. Right from Bhatnagar Award to a Padma Bhushan, everything is what he possesses today. And I will request you, Dr. Joshi, if there is a possibility for you to mentor my faculties, my students, and one story, again, because sir was talking about stories, one story that I would like to relate. When I was in his house few years back, and when I went to in his room, there is a special dedicated room that he has where he meets his students even today. Amazing number of PhD candidates, 114. I can't even dream of 114 people doing PhD under me, is what is the numbers that he speaks of. And while I looked at that Padma Bhushan thing on his wall, he made one statement that when he went to his village, after receiving that, he made it a point to reach out to all, and there was a question which was asked by his people, his natives, as to what is it that you're contributing for people like us and villages. And this is where I see, post that, sir, there is so much work, and sir took this as a mandate to reach out to engineering colleges in, if I'm not mistaken, this is right, Chandrapur, and where he mentored a few faculties there and the students who came out with path-breaking innovations. And I want our university to be known as an innovative university along with the skills university. And this can only happen provided what he said were the two mantras that he has told. And I think I've been professing about the aspect of course I speak of thinking skill, he's speaking of concentration. I think it's not about the World Trade Center that you've come here today. It's a nice picnic. The story of picnic was even more exciting, where the students go for the picnic to find a challenge. So challenge and a solution. So I think this is a different breed of faculties you will not get in our times. We belong to a different generation, and he's a different generation altogether. Those who had the fortune of learning under him are really fortunate. I believe Maharashtra State Skills University is really, really grateful to you, sir, for such a beautiful session that you took for my students. And I hope my students who are just in first year, we have only first year students and second year students, will understand the significance of what was spoken today. And I promise that we will surely come out with at least 200 innovations from this room of 200 students. That's a promise I give on behalf of all my students. Thank you, sir, from the bottom of my heart. And I hope I hear more claps from each one of you coming with your innovative idea, where we listen to you as to what your innovation was and what your invention was. And very strongly put up by sir, it's not about the infrastructure that matters, it is the state of mind, your ability to have your design thinking, which we've been speaking. And actually, he made a mention of design thinking in a very subtle manner. So thank you so much.